Data collection is the process of recording responses or behaviors that a person engages in. These can include crying, screaming, throwing tantrums, requesting for items, labeling items, counting, or many other behaviors. In this video, we will discuss the importance of data collection and the different types of data collection methods that you can use at home with your child. We collect data in order to see our child's progress throughout teaching. By visually seeing their progress, we can make clear and informed decisions on whether or not they are on their way to meeting their goals. Furthermore, data highlights a child's strengths and challenges. Data collection is also beneficial for tracking both appropriate and challenging behaviors. Whether you want the behavior in question to increase or decrease, you can use different strategies to achieve your goal. By tracking the behaviors, you will be able to see if your strategies were successful. If not, you can try another strategy. For instance, when viewing data representing the frequency of requesting for items, a high and consistent number signifies the learner is acquiring the skill, whereas a constant low number suggests the learner is having difficulty. By seeing this, we can adjust our training methods to better help our learner. There are different types of data collection methods that can be used. We will focus on a few. Collecting data based on frequency is counting how many times the behavior occurs in a set time. This method is very easy to do and is useful for behaviors that are short and have a clear beginning and end. Therefore, it would be ineffective if it is used to track behaviors that are fast-paced. Some ways that you can track the frequency of behavior are by using a tally, clickers, or dropping objects into a jar. Let's take a look at an example. Here, we will see a parent taking frequency data on her child's behavior of hitting the table with her elbow. The parent takes this data for 5 minutes at a time, 2 times a day. You can also collect data based on the rate of the behavior. Rate is defined as the number of times a behavior occurs per time. It is calculated by dividing the frequency of the behavior by the total time. For example, if your child puts their hand in their mouth 10 times in 5 minutes, the rate of the behavior would be 2 per minute. The following example will show you how to use rate to collect data. Let's go back to our previous example where a child was banging their elbow on the table. On Monday, the parent observed them for 10 minutes and recorded 20 elbow hits. On Tuesday, the parent observed them for 20 minutes and recorded 50 elbow hits. To calculate the rate of the behavior, in this case, elbow hits, for each day, divide the total number of times the behavior occurred by the total observation time. The rate of elbow hitting for Monday would be 20 divided by 10 minutes, equaling 2 elbow hits per minute. The rate of elbow hitting for Tuesday would be 50 divided by 20 minutes, equaling 2.5 elbow hits per minute. The next type of data collection method is duration. This is defined as how long the behavior lasts. It's a great method to use if you want to measure the exact amount of time a person engages in the behavior. Some ways to measure duration are by using a clock, a count-up timer, or a stopwatch. Let's see how this is done.
Okay, it's homework time. You're going to read for 10 minutes.
Okay.
I'm going to set the timer. All right.
The final data collection method we will address is the ABC data sheet, where the ABC stands for antecedent, behavior, and consequence. ABC data collection is a direct observation tool that provides information about what's happening in the child's environment. The information collected can help determine why the behavior is happening. We describe what happens immediately before the behavior itself, and what happens immediately after the behavior. When identifying the antecedent, consider the following. Where does the behavior happen? When does the behavior happen? With whom does the behavior occur? What was the child doing when the behavior occurred? What happened in the 3 to 5 seconds before the behavior? When recording the behavior, be sure to be specific about what your child was doing. Let's take aggression as an example. A less specific description could be, child was aggressive. Whereas a more specific description could be, child hit me 2 times on the arm using an open hand. The more clear the behavior is described, the easier it will be to track. When recording the consequence, ensure it is the event that occurs immediately after the behavior. It can include removal or denied access to a toy, walking away from the child, or even providing them with attention. An important note to remember is that consequences are not always a bad thing. It is just the event that happens after a behavior. When a child does well on a math test, you give them a reward. That reward is a consequence for them doing well on their test. Now we will see how to take data using this method. First, you will see the behavior. Then, we will show how to fill in the appropriate information in an ABC datasheet.
Okay, lunchtime.
I don't want the baby carrots!
You know what? You can have 5 more minutes.
This is the antecedent, or what happens immediately before the behavior. Here, we can say, child is playing with the iPad. Parent tells child, it's lunchtime, eat your food. This is the behavior. Here, we can say, child screamed no, I don't want to eat, cried with tears for about 5 seconds, and hit the table 2 times with an open hand. You want to be as specific as possible when noting the behavior, as this will make it easier to track. This is the consequence. It immediately followed the behavior. Here we can say, parent gave child the iPad back and said, you can have 5 more minutes. The consequence is very important because it can give us clues to what the purpose of the behavior could be. If a challenging behavior was reinforced, this may become problematic in the future. By completing an ABC data sheet in this manner, we will be able to see the situations that may lead to behaviors, the behaviors that occurred, and what was done immediately after the behavior. Based on this information, we can develop strategies to decrease undesired behaviors or prevent them from happening. We have discussed the importance of data collection and the different data collection methods that you can use at home with your child. These different data collection methods are valuable tools you can use when building your child's skills and decreasing their inappropriate behavior. Remember, if you want to see behavior change, data collection is the first step. For more information about data collection or to learn more about our services, visit lrcss.com.